Hey, Mike Pachelli here. Thanks for tuning in to this video. For this lesson, I'm going to talk about the Beatles' Don't Let Me Down, recorded in 1969, written by John Lennon. The song is about Yoko Ono, of course, and it's full of, angst and pathos and sexual double entendre, everything we love about John Lennon. You can see them doing it live on the rooftop that they did the concert, but it's not exactly what you hear on the record, because the rooftop doesn't have any of George's really cool licks that I'll show you in a little bit. But we can see clearly how John approaches the song. And what's great is two things. A, we see that he uses the rounded part of a pick for his strumming. And if you look close on that live rooftop stuff, and he's playing his casino, he's got like a mellow tone on it, something like that. And there's really only 3 chords in the whole song. There's F sharp minor, like this, and he picks up his pinky to get F sharp minor 7th. And there's E, and he suspends it with his pinky. Sometimes he arpeggiates it. And then there's a B7 in the middle section. And that's it. So George does most of the heavy lifting, and John plays just kind of a 16th note pattern. You can it's great to see on the live version on the rooftop that he doesn't even accent, like he doesn't go let me down or anything. He just continually plays more on the low strings too. So, don't let me to the minor 7th, and then to an E. And just continuing kind of like a suck it, check it, check it, check it, check it, check it, check it pattern. So it's just don't let me. That 5/4 measure, and he comes in again. Nobody ever loved me like F sharp minor. F sharp minor 7. And when that is, you can play that one finger if you want to play like you're playing an E chord. You can take one finger and just slide your first finger up. And John does it very tossed off, very humorous. Nobody loves me like she does. Don't let me, and that's the whole song, except for the middle 8, and when he gets to the B7. Now on this part, he sort of accents 2 and 4. You can hear on the record a little more, like I'm in love for the. Don't you know the B7? But still kind of keeping that rolling, round part of the pick, rolling, John Lennon kind of tossed off, great playing. I mean, it really moves the band. So I'm in love for the. That's how I got the suspension with my pinky, which you can do. And that's really the whole song. The only difference is at the very end when Billy Preston is playing out, John anticipates the chord. He starts out the F sharp, and what anticipate means is he hits the next chord, he'll hit the E on the and of 4. So on the way out, it's F sharp minor. That's all John's part. Just fantastic. I mean, groovy rhythm, John Lennon wonderfulness. Now let's talk about the George Harrison part. As usual, he's kind of reserved, but he plays, you know, a lick that's just outstanding. And those little licks after the 5/4 part are really cool, and we'll talk about that too. But for the most part, he's just playing a F sharp minor up here, and occasionally on the "Don't Let Me Down," he makes it in an F sharp minor, 7th, like this, by picking up the pinky, so to an E. So those are basically the 2 chords in the whole song. But what George does is incredible. Now, we all know the opening lick that goes. Fun facts to know and tell. The only time he plays the low E and that A flat is at the very beginning. He goes. That's the only time he plays the low note. Now let's take a look at that lick again. It has some double stops, and it's just based off an E. But he starts on the, 9th fret of the A string, hammers up to 11, double stop on the D and G string on fret 9, another slur, bring it up. See that? Let's get a close-up. Now, whenever you see people playing this, they always seem to land on the like the 3rd and the 5th of that E triad. But George barely plays that, the 5th of the chord. It's more like you just kind of hear the 3rd. So if you don't play, the 5th, which is a B of the E triad. So if you don't even play that 5th, it's okay. It's like. Or just really try to underplay that 5th. I think maybe he's finger picking, and that's why you don't hear too much of that actual B note on the D string. Now during the verses, I mean, he's just really laying inside and listening to the vocals. So he hits a strong F sharp minor, you know, "Don't let me down," and it kind of keeps time, you know. Makes it a minor 7 to the E. Don't let me. And that's basically all you need to know for that little particular lick. It happens many times within the song. The really tricky parts of George are during the verse. There's a 5/4 measure after the lick because that lick ends on 1. So when the lick plays 2, 3, 4, 5, then the verse starts, and the first Harrison lick is. So it's like a 6th interval on the 14th fret G string, E string, and then 5ths on the 2nd and 1st string. Let me do that slow. Right down the F sharp triad. Let's get a close-up of that really slow. Now the second one is a little different. There's another measure of 5/4, and after you count 5, the second lick goes like this. Again, if you don't get it right away, there's charts and tabs at mikepachelli.com, so that'll be a lot easier. But let me play that one slow for you. The noteworthy parts on that is you take that little 6 interval up at the 14th fret of the 1st and 3rd string to the 5th here on the 2nd and 1st string. And then he's just messing around with that F sharp minor triad, but he goes. Listen. And then suspends it. That was great. So here's both of those licks. Make it major. Second one. Don't let me. And onward. When John is singing, I'm in love for the first time, Paul and George are playing this great part. Check it out. Let me get a close-up of that for you now. All right, let's talk about that unison lick. Now I can tell he's playing the first part of it all on the A string. It's like, well, with an open E first. So all those notes are on the A string. And then he switches down to a position here, plays this E note on the 2nd fret of the D string. You do that again. All right, so we got switch. Now he's in a B, kind of a B7 position. And you can hear him slide up. And then he doesn't want to slide again, so he goes. So that first minor 3rd interval is on the 4th fret and the 6th fret, up to the 7th fret and the 9th fret. Slide. Got it? And then slide down on the D string from fret 6 to fret 2, and then 4 to 1. And repeat it. Low E. And again, the charts and tabs are at mikepachelli.com for you to download. So after the next 5/4 measure, he plays this lick. Let me get a close-up of that. Now, a couple things that are different with this lick. Again, he's starting on that 6th. When he gets to the F sharp minor triad, kind of double stops on the G and the B string. And then double stops on the D and G string from the 9th fret to the 6th fret. And then that E major 7th. Makes it major. All right, got that? And then the last one, there's another measure of 5/4. The very last one is similar to the 3rd lick, but it goes like this. I'll get a close-up of that. Okay, that very fourth lick, what's different there is just at the very end, after these double stops, like and he's playing a E triad, but he's arpeggiating it, and then a little double stop. All just like bar the 9th fret on the 4th and 3rd string, slur it to the on the D string to the 11th fret. So you got. And those are those 4 licks. The only one more difference is at the very end of the song they anticipate on when Billy Preston is playing out. There's a little anticipation. Instead of playing it always on the downbeat, he's playing like. Anticipation on the 2 chords. Well, for fun, I'll try to play the whole track now, and then you can have that for a reference. So that's how you play Don't Let Me Down by the Beatles. Hey, I'm Mike Pachelli, and if you'd like to drop me a line, you can do so at mikepachelli.com. Always cool to hear from you, and I'll answer every email. Plus, the charts and tabs are there for you to download. And if you could, please subscribe to the channel because I keep putting stuff up and you'll be informed when I do a new video. So until next time, Mike Pachelli signing off. Thanks for hanging out with me.